The 13 recent archaeological discoveries that are shaking up everything we know about human history. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into some truly fascinating discoveries, things you may have never even imagined. Do you think we already understand human history well? Are you confident that what you know about our past is accurate? If your answer is yes, then today's journey is sure to surprise you. For centuries, archaeologists have been digging, studying, and uncovering strange traces that we still can't fully explain. And in recent years, a wave of new discoveries has emerged, turning everything we thought we knew about human history upside down. These findings don't just challenge long-standing theories, they raise brand new questions and shake the very foundations of our understanding. So, what exactly are these discoveries? Join us as we search for answers in 13 groundbreaking archaeological discoveries that are forcing us to rethink everything we know about the past. Let's jump into this incredible journey of exploration, starting right now. A 3,000-year-old hair strand reveals a shocking truth about ancient Europeans. When people think of the Bronze Age, they often imagine crude metal tools, lives deeply tied to hunting and gathering, and mysterious legends about ancient tribes. But have you ever considered the possibility that over 3,000 years ago, our ancestors might have already known about drugs? This isn't just speculation or vague, indirect evidence like residue on ancient pottery. This is direct, concrete proof coming from strands of their actual hair. It sounds like science fiction, but it's a real discovery that's rocked the scientific community, published in the journal Scientific Reports. It all began in a cave on the island of Menorca, a jewel of Spain in the heart of the Mediterranean. The cave, called Escarats, was accidentally discovered by explorers in 1995, but it wasn't until years later that archaeologists slowly began peeling back the layers of time that had covered this place. They unearthed the remains of over 200 individuals, enough to confirm that this was once a long-standing community. But what shocked them most wasn't the human bones or artifacts. It was a set of exquisitely crafted wooden boxes, carefully sealed and filled with locks of red hair. No one expected that these very strands of hair would rewrite a chapter of human history. Using ultra-high-resolution mass spectrometry, researchers detected the presence of atropine, scopolamine, and ephedrine in the hair, three compounds known to cause hallucinations, stimulate the nervous system, and alter states of consciousness. To put it simply, these are the kinds of substances found in natural psychedelics. What's even more fascinating is that these compounds don't enter the body accidentally. The evidence clearly shows that these people consume them intentionally, and for a sustained period, at least 1 year, ruling out any chance of accidental or one-time use. So what were they using them for? Of course, we can't go back in time to ask them, but researchers have proposed a compelling theory that hallucinogens may have played a role in religious or spiritual rituals, possibly under the guidance of ancient shamans. Picture this. Inside a dimly lit cave, the flicker of firelight dancing on the walls, the steady beat of ceremonial drums echoing through the space, these ancient people may have sought contact with the other world, or searched for divine answers by altering their state of consciousness. This discovery doesn't just open a new chapter in European archaeology, it poses a profound question about the spiritual depth and complexity of our ancestors' lives. Could it be that humans have always longed to understand themselves and the universe on a deeper level, even back when they still forged tools from stone? And if that's true, then perhaps the spiritual history of humankind is far older and more mysterious than we ever imagined. The 400-year-old mummy of a toddler. In an ancient crypt deep beneath the town of Helmonsod, Austria, once the final resting place of the powerful Counts of Starhemberg, one of Germany's oldest and most influential noble families, archaeologists made an unusual discovery. Amid elaborately decorated metal coffins, shimmering with age, there was a small, simple wooden casket, almost forgotten. Inside was not the body of a nobleman, but the mummified remains of a toddler, a little boy who had just learned to walk, buried nearly 400 years ago. Thanks to modern technology, the story of this child, who once lived, breathed, and was deeply loved, has been brought back to life in a way that is both moving and chilling. The mystery of the child in the wooden coffin might have remained buried in silence forever, until German scientists decided to perform a virtual autopsy, using advanced CT scans to study soft tissue and bone structure without disturbing the body. Amazingly, the body had been exceptionally well preserved, thanks to traditional mummification techniques. From this, researchers were able to unlock a wealth of information. The boy, with dark hair, had died between the ages of 12 to 18 months. His name was likely Richard Wilhelm, believed to be the first member of a new generation of the Starhemberg family. He died around the year 1625 or 1626. What haunted the researchers was this. Although the child had clearly been well cared for, as shown by his overweight condition and signs of good nutrition, he suffered from severe rickets, a condition caused by a major deficiency in vitamin D. His rib bones were visibly deformed, a classic sign of metabolic bone disease. Even more tragically, CT scans also revealed clear signs of pneumonia, which is believed to have been the immediate cause of death. But how could a child from the aristocracy, a family with access to food, clothing, and medicine, end up malnourished and fatally ill? The answer lies in the strange beauty standards and lifestyle habits of 17th century European nobility. At the time, pale skin was a symbol of status and refinement. A sun-tanned complexion implied manual labor, something only the lower classes did. As a result, noble children were kept indoors, away from sunlight, the most important natural source of vitamin D for healthy bone development. This overprotection, combined with limited medical knowledge of the era, may have tragically doomed little Richard. His death was not just a personal tragedy, it stands as a painful reminder of how love without understanding can still lead to suffering. This is the story of a child bound by the social norms of his time, whose life ended before he ever truly understood the world. And yet, thanks to modern science, he is no longer forgotten. His story is no longer a vague legend, but a voice from the past, a voice that teaches us about history, medicine, and the fragile nature of human life through the ages. The 700-year-old ghost ships, carrying priceless treasures. Do you believe in ghost ships? Not the kind in movies or legends, but real ships that once sailed the seas, vanished without a trace, and then, centuries later, rose from the depths like whispered messages from the past. No, you're not hearing things. In the frigid, mysterious waters of the Baltic Sea, a stunning discovery has left archaeologists and history enthusiasts alike speechless. Two ghost ships from two completely different regions that vanished nearly 700 years ago have resurfaced, lying side by side as if they had a rendezvous set in another lifetime. The story began in spring 2021, when a construction crew was digging a railway tunnel near the town of Varberg in Sweden's Halland County. What they didn't expect was that buried deep underground was one of the greatest untold maritime mysteries in European history. Two medieval shipwrecks, now called Varbergskogen I and Varbergskogen II, gradually emerged. What stunned experts was how incredibly well-preserved the vessels were, nearly intact, showing no signs of collision, damage, or decay. One ship originated from the forested regions of the Netherlands, Belgium, or France, the other from northern Poland. Though they never traveled together, they now rest only 30 feet apart, both sinking into the Baltic depths sometime in the 14th century. Was it an incredible coincidence? Or something more supernatural that science has yet to explain? Analysis revealed that these were not just wrecks, they were priceless time capsules of medieval trade, daily life, and politics. Inside the hulls were perfectly preserved cargo, wooden spoons, barrels, leather shoes, humble items that told grand stories of people, trade routes, and cultures once connected by the sea. One of the two is now considered the most complete medieval shipwreck ever discovered in Sweden. And yet, its cause of sinking remains a mystery. There were no burn marks, no signs of weapon damage, and no evidence of piracy. The most plausible theory so far? A massive storm, which may have overwhelmed both ships, strangers on the sea, pulled by fate to the same final resting place. But that's not the end of the mystery. The Baltic Sea has long been famous for its unnaturally well-preserved shipwrecks, a fact that has baffled scientists for decades. The chemical makeup of the water is often cited as a reason. But could there be something else? Something science hasn't yet uncovered? These Baltic ghost ships are more than just archaeological finds. They are powerful reminders that history never truly dies. It waits beneath the waves and under layers of earth to be discovered, heard, and told once more. And maybe, just maybe, these stories aren't just about the past. They might help us understand the fragile, mysterious journey of humanity through time. the monumental tomb with a 2,000-year-old mummy. Nearly 2,000 years ago, in 79 AD, the city of Pompeii, once a prosperous city of the Roman Empire, was completely destroyed by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. This remains one of the deadliest natural disasters in European history. The hot lava and gases swept everything away, killing at least 2,000 people. However, after the disaster, Pompeii became a living museum of Roman life, where countless artifacts and objects from a long-lost civilization have been preserved. These remains have helped us uncover fascinating details about the society, culture, and people of Pompeii over the years. Recently, archaeologists sparked a wave of excitement with the discovery of a perfectly preserved mummy, arguably the best ever found in Pompeii. This is remarkable not only because the mummy is nearly intact, but also because there are signs that this individual underwent an extraordinary preservation process, much like embalming. It's hard to believe, right? Details like the white hairs still remaining on the head or part of the ear still intact left researchers in awe. So, who was the person preserved in this tomb? The individual has been identified as Marcus Venerius Secundio, a former slave who, after being freed, became a wealthy and influential figure in Pompeii. Interestingly, he didn't just become rich, but he also achieved a significant social position. While he may not have been extremely wealthy, he certainly held a large fortune. His story serves as a testament to the process of striving and rising within Roman society. From being an enslaved person, Marcus Venerius Secundio found a path to freedom and even achieved significant success. What surprised researchers even more were the inscriptions on the tombstone, which revealed that Marcus wasn't just a wealthy man, but also involved in unique cultural activities. He organized performances in Greek rather than Latin, suggesting that Pompeii at that time had a rich and open cultural exchange. It's clear that this city was a cultural melting pot, where people could easily interact, learn, and create without boundaries. A major question raised by this discovery is whether the embalming of the deceased was an intentional act by the Romans or merely a coincidental event. Archaeologists have yet to find a definitive answer, but this discovery opens a new door for understanding the customs and rituals of ancient Romans. One of the most interesting finds is that researchers also discovered woven fabrics around the mummy, which could offer more information about embalming techniques in the past. The remaining bones and organic materials have been sent to the laboratory for further study, offering a new opportunity to understand the lives of Pompeii's citizens. This not only helps us uncover the secrets of a lost civilization, but also reveals fascinating details about daily life, culture, art, and social relationships in ancient Roman society. 100-million-year-old fossilized reptile bones. Imagine standing in the middle of a barren, sun-baked land that was once the bottom of a vast ocean hundreds of millions of years ago. Then, suddenly, amid the dry red soil, you spot a fossilized bone sticking out. Not from a typical animal, but from the remains of a giant sea creature from the prehistoric era. This is exactly what happened in the remote region of Queensland, Australia, where 3 amateur paleontologists, affectionately known as the Fossil Chicks, accidentally unearthed one of the most spectacular discoveries in recent paleontological history: the nearly complete fossilized skeleton of a juvenile plesiosaur, a marine reptile that lived over 100 million years ago. Known as an elasmosaur, this magnificent creature wasn't just a random fossil, but a crucial piece in helping scientists uncover clues about life during the Cretaceous period, an era dominated by dinosaurs and giant sea creatures. According to Espen Knutsen, a senior expert at the Queensland Museum, this discovery is like the Rosetta Stone of paleontology. Why is that? Typically, when a plesiosaur dies, its head with its long neck, which makes up 2/3 of its body, would easily detach due to decay or the actions of predators. So, finding a fossil that includes both the head and the body is incredibly rare. Living in the Eromanga Sea, an ancient sea that once covered much of inland Australia at a depth of about 164 feet, plesiosaurs were fierce predators. Unlike dinosaurs, they did not have gills and had to come to the surface to breathe, making them more similar to modern-day whales. What's even more exciting is that this newly discovered specimen is a juvenile, providing scientists with an unprecedented opportunity to explore how these massive creatures developed through different stages of their life. But that's not all. Knutsen revealed that by analyzing the chemical composition of the fossil's teeth, Researchers hope to determine its diet, migratory behavior, and habitat. This valuable information could help scientists reconstruct a vivid picture of the ecosystem from hundreds of millions of years ago, from how the creatures moved to what they ate and where they lived. And if you think this is just a one-off discovery, think again. In recent years, Australia has become a hotbed for archaeological finds. From the fossilized skeleton of a giant dinosaur named Cooper, as tall as a two-story building and as long as a basketball court, to the incredible discovery of a flying dragon, a creature described as a terrifying carnivorous beast, which once soared over Australia's skies 105 million years ago. All of these discoveries are gradually revealing an exciting secret: that this barren land was once the stage for majestic creatures, where a fierce battle for survival played out between marine reptiles, dinosaurs, and flying predators. Now, every time the red soil is disturbed, the past rises again, challenging our current understanding of the Earth's history. The 3,500-year-old inscription on an ancient tablet. Can you believe that a small ancient ceramic tablet about the size of a credit card could reveal a surprising story about society and the economy more than 3,500 years ago? Yes, you heard that right. Recently, archaeologists in Turkey discovered a ceramic tablet dating back to the 15th century BC. What's fascinating about this tablet is that it is not just a piece of inanimate ceramic, but actually records an important transaction related to furniture: the purchase of large wooden tables and chairs, which, surprisingly, was recorded in great detail. When we think of ancient civilizations, we often imagine grand monuments like the pyramids of Egypt or the Parthenon in Greece. But few of us would think that even everyday items like tables and chairs could leave behind such valuable historical traces. What makes this tablet even more intriguing is that it not only records a transaction, but also opens a window into the social and economic structure of that era. Written in Akkadian cuneiform, an ancient language that was commonly used in the Middle East, this tablet provides an important clue for understanding the state structure and the daily life of people in the Late Bronze Age. You may not know that Akkadian is one of the earliest Semitic languages, related to both Arabic and Hebrew, and was widely used from Iran to Egypt and Turkey. The use of Akkadian cuneiform to record transactions like this shows the development of a culture with a systematic writing system and a well-organized society. This not only reflects a business transaction, but also demonstrates an economy with a high degree of specialization and division of labor, where furniture was not merely a practical item, but also a part of the developing material culture. The tablet, modest in size at just 1.6 by 0.6 inches and weighing only 1 ounce, was discovered during restoration work after an earthquake shook the ancient city of Alalakh in the Reyhanlı district of Hatay. This region is historically significant, having once been the capital of the Kingdom of Mukish in the 2nd millennium BC. Alalakh, also known as Tel Achana, was home to the Amorites, a Semitic-speaking people. It was here that archaeologists uncovered the tablet, revealing a glimpse into a society with a vibrant economy and complex transactions. At that time, Alalakh belonged to the Mitanni Empire, a powerful state in West Asia. Known for its advanced ceramics, metalworking, and glass production, the region was not only a trade hub, but also a cultural crossroads where crafted goods and commodities were exchanged widely. In 1350 BC, when King Shadawaza of the Mitanni Kingdom ceded Alalakh to Hittite King Suppiluliuma, this area was not just a commercial center, but also a meeting point for diverse cultures. The tablets discovered in the ancient palaces and castles of Alalakh are currently being studied intensively by archaeologists. These findings will help us better understand the social dynamics and the economy of this region during the Late Bronze Age. What other fascinating details will these tablets reveal? The answer will unfold through ongoing research. From a small ceramic tablet, we have uncovered a treasure trove of information about the lives, society, and economy of people more than 3,500 years ago. So, what do you think about these archaeological discoveries? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below this video. A bottomless cave full of treasures. Do you believe that within a sacred mountain in China, there exists a gateway leading to the past? A shocking discovery has stunned the archaeological community, revealing a mystery buried for thousands of years, all starting with just a shovel from a construction worker. On a normal day in 1983, while a construction team was working on the Xianggang Mountain in Guangzhou, a mountain long known for its sacred status and many legends, something unexpected happened. Their excavator struck a massive empty space beneath the ground. Upon inspection, they discovered a dark, bottomless cave, its depth unfathomable. The atmosphere immediately became tense. None of the workers dared to enter, as the darkness and mystery of the cave were chilling. Instead, they quickly reported the finding to the local authorities and contacted a team of archaeologists to explore this unusual discovery. The archaeologists conducted a preliminary survey, and the results left everyone astonished. This was no ordinary cave, but a structure resembling an ancient tomb. Before beginning the construction project, the team had researched the area and learned that Xianggang Mountain had once been a military fortress, where many feudal generals had chosen as their final resting place to protect their families from the tumultuous changes of history. Therefore, the discovery of an ancient tomb here was not entirely unexpected, though its scale and depth were far beyond what anyone had imagined. Rumors quickly spread. Could this be the hidden treasure trove of a long-lost civilization? Or perhaps an untapped royal tomb? After sealing off the area and using specialized equipment to explore further, the archaeologists discovered a vast chamber, its stone walls intricately carved with patterns. Although time had worn away some of the details, the craftsmanship remained impressive. The inscriptions revealed on the walls startled the experts because they closely resembled the writing from the Western Han Dynasty. To verify this, the team divided into two groups. One studied the inscriptions, comparing them to ancient texts, while the other continued to excavate the tomb area. Historical records indicated that during the Western Han Dynasty, this region belonged to Nanyue, an ancient kingdom in the southern part of China, founded by Zhao Tuo, a general of the Qin dynasty. As they delved deeper, the archaeologists uncovered valuable artifacts such as a giant bronze tripod, intricately carved screens, gold-plated battle armor, and numerous weapons, including swords, spears, and even a chariot placed respectfully in the center of the tomb. However, it was not until they discovered a golden seal, engraved with the four characters, Seal of Emperor Wen, that the mystery was truly solved. Emperor Wen was the title of Zhao Hu, the second ruler of the Nanyue Kingdom, and the son of Zhao Tuo. The discovery of the tomb of an ancient king is not only of immense archaeological value, but also serves as a vivid testament to the glorious history of a civilization that once flourished in the southern part of China. Remarkably, despite the passage of thousands of years, this tomb remains almost perfectly intact, untouched by time, as if time itself wishes to preserve it as an invaluable treasure of history. The sparkling gold ore reveals a 1,000-year-old treasure. Covering an area of approximately 830 acres, the vast Suichang Park in Lishui, Zhejiang Province, China, is famous for its mysterious interconnected caves and majestic landscapes. For a long time, it has been a popular destination for nature lovers and explorers. However, no one could have imagined that beneath the seemingly lifeless rocks, one of the largest gold ore deposits ever discovered in China was hidden. In 2015, during a mining operation at the park's exit, a group of researchers unexpectedly stumbled upon a strange rock glowing with a golden hue. Initially, a few workers attempted to dig it out by hand, but the more they dug, the larger and more massive it became, making any manual efforts futile. Unable to ignore such a promising discovery, experts decided to use modern technology to access the site. Using an intelligent mountain drilling system, all equipment, such as cutters, conveyors, and transfer machines, were remotely controlled with just a click of a button. High-resolution AI cameras constantly monitored every movement, ensuring maximum accuracy and safety. Even a special measuring system was integrated to track the depth and mining progress in real time, creating a fully automated process with little need for human intervention. After hours of work, the mysterious treasure was finally revealed. A massive gold ore block weighing a total of approximately 99,208 pounds. What stunned scientists was its composition. Each ton of ore contained 7.66 ounces of gold and 130.2 ounces of silver, a figure that far exceeded any previous estimates. After geological analysis, experts confirmed that this treasure block had been around for over 1,000 years, likely formed during ancient times and possibly related to gold mines that were buried in history. To conduct further analysis, the researchers used 3D scanning AI technology combined with cloud computing to reconstruct the structure, analyze its connections, and examine the surrounding environment. Data from hundreds of points were logically pieced together to create an accurate image of the treasure block. This not only represented a breakthrough in archaeology, but also showcased the ability to integrate modern technology into heritage preservation. Once brought to the surface, the enormous gold ore block was not sent to a museum or refined. Instead, experts decided to leave it in place at the park, right at the entrance of the scenic area, as part of the living cultural heritage. A layer of golden powder paint was applied to the surface to enhance its aesthetic value and protect it from the elements. Interestingly, despite its enormous material value, no one has attempted to steal it. The practical reason for this is simple. The ore block weighs up to 99,208 pounds, making it impossible to move without specialized equipment, and the entire area is equipped with 24/7 surveillance cameras. For many, the value of the gold ore lies not only in the precious metals, but also in its profound cultural significance. It symbolizes history, represents the existence and development of ancient mining civilizations, and serves as a reminder of the natural treasures that humanity must cherish. Thanks to this discovery, Suicheng Park is no longer just a place for sightseeing. It has become a living part of history, a place where the present and the past converge in an unprecedented gold-encrusted rock. If you have the chance, be sure to visit and witness it firsthand. The entrance to an ancient temple, sealed for over 3,000 years. In Peru, a team of archaeologists has just uncovered a corridor that has been sealed for over 3,000 years. This corridor, known as the Condor Corridor, is believed to lead to other rooms within a large temple that once belonged to the ancient Chavin culture. The Chavin de Huantar archaeological site, located about 190 miles northeast of Lima, was once an important center for the Chavin culture, which flourished from around 1500 to 550 BC. The Chavin civilization is famous for its impressive artwork, often depicting images of birds and jaguars. These ancient people lived in the northern Andean highlands of Peru thousands of years before the rise of the Inca Empire. Recently, archaeologists have focused on a corridor in the southern part of the temple. This specific area had been sealed off because it was considered less significant than other parts of the site. However, the recent discovery has provided valuable insight into the early stages of the Chavin civilization. Archaeologist John Rick stated that the artifacts found there had been frozen in time. Within the corridor, the research team uncovered an important artifact, a large ceramic piece weighing around 37.5 pounds. This piece is decorated with the head and wings of an Andean condor or Andean vulture, a significant symbol in the ancient Andean culture. Additionally, they found a ceramic bowl. In the Andean civilization, the Andean condor or Andean vulture carried great symbolism, associated with power and prosperity. The term Chavin itself comes from the Quechua word Chopin, meaning center, emphasizing its importance to the indigenous communities of that time. The 1,800-year-old tomb of the warrior who died twice. In the peaceful fields of rural England, where an ancient Roman villa once stood, archaeologists stumbled upon a strange tomb, and its mystery still baffles researchers to this day. This tomb is not only the remnant of a person who lived nearly 2 millennia ago, but also carries unanswered questions about beliefs, burial rituals, and even ancient fears regarding the return of the dead. The person buried here was a young man, approximately 21 to 25 years old, placed in a carefully constructed stone tomb, an uncommon practice for ordinary people in Roman society at that time. Beside him were a sword and a silver pin, two items that clearly indicate his status as a warrior or a person of high rank in the military. The warrior's cloak, which he wore when he died, further confirms that he was once highly respected in society. However, his face-down burial position quickly contradicted initial assumptions. Unlike 3 other contemporaneous tombs found nearby, where the deceased were laid on their backs according to traditional Roman burial rites, this man's body was buried in an unusual position. Large nails positioned near his neck, back, and feet served as silent evidence, suggesting that he may have been tightly bound, possibly even executed just before his death. Based on the condition of his bones and teeth, experts also discovered that he had suffered from a severe ear infection, something that might have killed him. or at least weakened him, possibly causing him to lose his social standing. Dr. Evan Chapman, the lead archaeologist from the Amgueddfa Cymru Museum in Wales, stated that the manner of his burial led them to believe that he had undergone two deaths, one physical and one spiritual, when his soul was sealed according to ancient beliefs. The nails and the face-down position might have been a ritual to prevent the deceased from rising again, a form of exorcism common in ancient folk beliefs meant to protect the community from spirits thought to be restless or vengeful. However, what puzzled the archaeologists was that despite being treated as a spiritual threat, he was still buried with a sword and valuable items, as though those who buried him both feared and respected him. It was a strange contradiction between honor and terror. They did not dispose of his body, did not burn it, nor dishonor it like they would a traitor. Instead, they constructed a tomb for him, carefully and respectfully, but simultaneously sealed him forever beneath layers of earth and stone, as if trying to prevent something from escaping control. 12. Dragons beneath the water. It all began in May 1977, when the Sixian County in Nanyang City, Henan Province, unexpectedly experienced a severe, unprecedented drought. The ground cracked, trees withered, and rivers ran dry. By October of that year, the water level of the Danjiangkou Reservoir had dropped significantly, unveiling an astonishing sight. The Longshan mountain slopes, which had been submerged for years, rose above the dry lakebed. It was there that a group of children from the village of Shiazi, while playing, heard strange sounds and discovered a deep hole that had mysteriously appeared. Inside, a dim light reflected off numerous pottery vessels, but fear made the children only report it to the adults. The villagers gathered, both curious and hopeful to find something valuable. However, the village chief, Lu, who was committed to preserving heritage, quickly cordoned off the site and reported it to the county's cultural center. From there, an arduous excavation journey began, led by Mr. Zhang Xian, an experienced archaeologist, and his team. The excavation faced many obstacles as the water level of the lake continually fluctuated, washing away their efforts. The archaeological team decided to change tactics, focusing on large tombs with valuable artifacts first. Many times they had to risk diving deep into the lake, confronting danger to not miss this historic opportunity. After a year of persistent work, their efforts paid off. They discovered tens of thousands of artifacts from the Zhou dynasty, dating back to the spring and autumn period, all located within the Longcheng tomb complex, a treasure buried for over a millennium. Among these, Tomb A2 contained the most remarkable treasures, nearly 7,000 pieces of jade, musical instruments, chariots, weapons, and ritual items. But the most shocking discovery was the 12 dragons made of bronze, unique artifacts lying beneath layers of mud and water. Unfortunately, most of them had been broken, likely by tomb robbers from the Han dynasty who, unable to steal them, sought to destroy them instead. After examination, experts determined that the 12 dragons were once part of a rare wine-drinking table cast from bronze, an alloy reserved only for the nobility. Wang Changqing, a renowned restoration expert from Henan Province, took on the monumental task of reviving this damaged treasure. At over 60 years old, he, along with an assistant, spent over 1,000 days and nights working through 26 complex stages to restore the table. When the masterpiece was completed in early 1984, the world was astonished. The table, named Cloud Pattern Bronze Banquet Table, is considered a living proof of a lost technique of three-dimensional wax casting that had been forgotten for over a millennium. This table is not only of great artistic value, but also a historical testament, pushing back the origins of wax casting techniques from the Tang dynasty to the spring and autumn period. The table stands 11.3 inches tall, is over 3 feet long, and weighs more than 200 pounds. It was designed with 12 dragons circling it, each one with its own majestic form, representing the supreme power of the ancient state of Chu. After studying the inscriptions on the table, archaeologists identified it as a burial item for Zi Qing, a powerful prime minister during the reign of King Kang of Chu. The value of the cloud pattern bronze banquet table is incalculable. In 2002, the Chinese Cultural Heritage Administration placed it on the list of 64 national treasures that are prohibited from being displayed abroad. According to experts, the value of this table could exceed 10 billion yuan. It's not just an artifact, but a living treasure of history, technology, and the spirit of a glorious dynasty buried in the flow of time. The haunted temple emerges from the sea. Imagine a typical morning on the picturesque Pozzuoli beach in the Campania region of Italy, where the calm waters seem to conceal a secret that has been forgotten for 2 millennia. Then, from the depths of the sea, the past rises in an unexpected way. Pristine white marble slabs, remarkably sharp and detailed, suddenly emerge from the sandy seabed, revealing traces of an ancient temple, once a sacred center of a kingdom that has disappeared from the world map, the Nabatian Kingdom. According to an official announcement from Italy's Minister of Civil Protection and Maritime Policy, Nello Musumeci, alongside Minister of Culture Gennaro Sangiuliano, 2 marble altars discovered off the coast of Pozzuoli are not just priceless archaeological artifacts, but also keys to unlocking the past of a civilization once rivaling the mighty Roman Empire. These altars, dating back to the early 1st century AD, have been confirmed as part of a Nabatian temple complex, an elaborate architectural structure once dedicated to the god Dusares, the protector of the land. What makes this discovery extraordinary is that the temple no longer exists above ground. Instead, it lies silently at the bottom of the sea in the heart of ancient Pozzuoli, or Puteoli, once one of the busiest trade ports of the Roman Empire. Experts believe that over thousands of years, the area was gradually lowered due to seismic activity and volcanic eruptions in the Phlegraean Peninsula, eventually sinking below sea level. However, despite being submerged, the remnants of the temple still retain their grandeur, like a sleeping treasure beneath the ocean. The image of the marble altars, published for the world to see, astonished archaeologists. They were white as snow, and the intricate carvings were still remarkably sharp after over 2,000 years. Minister Sangiuliano described the find as another treasure of Puteoli, not only because of its beauty, but also because it helps pinpoint the exact location of the haunted temple and opens up the possibility of further exploring other submerged structures, such as the ancient harbor, old roads, and even royal palaces beneath the sea. The Nabatian Kingdom, with its famous capital Petra, featured in several blockbuster films, was a unique civilization known for its exceptional construction techniques, stunning rock carvings, and a vast trade network stretching from the Euphrates to the Red Sea. At its peak, the Nabataeans were not only allies, but also a strong wall between Rome and the desert tribes. Thus, every time a relic related to the Nabataeans is discovered, it vividly brings to life ancient Mediterranean history in more detail. Dogu, Japan's longest-standing mystery. Have you ever wondered, before humans knew how to write or record history through language, what did they think, believe in, and how did they express their faith? What remains from the past, a broken pot, a bone fragment, or a small clay figure, might just be the key to unlocking the spiritual world of our ancestors. Among the most mysterious artifacts ever discovered, one cannot overlook the Dogu, small clay statues from prehistoric Japan that have existed as an unsolved mystery for thousands of years. Dogu, meaning clay figure, appeared during the late Jomon period, a remarkable era lasting from around 14,000 to 300 BC. For thousands of years, when the Japanese lived by hunting and gathering and later transitioned to a settled agricultural lifestyle, they created these strange little figures. Measuring only between 4 to 12 inches, Dogu are human-like in shape, mostly resembling women, with large round eyes, small waists, wide hips, and often pregnant bellies. But what compelled them to shape these forms? We have few clues to understand the true purpose of Dogu. Writing in Japan didn't emerge until the 6th century AD, thousands of years after the Dogu had disappeared from history. This leaves every hypothesis today as speculation based on the statue's form and archaeological context. Perhaps they were symbols of fertility, ritual items for praying, or tools used by shamans in religious ceremonies. Some scholars even link Dogu to Neolithic mother goddess statues like the Venus of Willendorf, common symbols of belief in fertility and rebirth. Even more fascinating, Dogu are not uniform in shape but fall into 4 main styles: pregnant women, horned owl figures, squinted eye types, and those with heart-shaped or crescent-shaped eyebrows. Among these, the squinted eye type, or Shakoki Dogu, stands out so much that it has become the most recognizable image when people refer to Dogu. The name Shikoki means light-blocking device because the round eyes resemble the protective goggles worn by Eskimos. This image is so strange that there have even been theories suggesting that Dogu might represent extraterrestrial beings. While this theory sounds far-fetched, in the absence of written records to confirm what is true, every possibility deserves consideration. What makes Dogu even more enigmatic is not just their appearance, but how they were discovered. Very few Dogu remain intact. Most are broken, arms missing, legs severed, heads lost, and what's more, many show signs of deliberate damage. Could this have been part of a ritual, a form of sacrifice after fulfilling its spiritual function? So, what are Dogu? Are they representations of deities, protective charms for women, or simply prehistoric toys? We may never know the exact answer, but it is precisely this mystery that makes Dogu a living symbol of the past. Each small statue a piece of the puzzle buried under the dust of time. And every time a Dogu is unearthed, humanity gets one step closer to answering the eternal question, who are we and where do we come from? And these are 13 groundbreaking archaeological discoveries that have forced the scientific community to reconsider what we once thought were truths about human history. Each artifact, each ruin, is not just evidence of a lost civilization, but also a whisper from the past, reminding us that history still holds countless untold stories. We've only just begun to flip through a few pages of humanity's enormous book. What will the next discoveries reveal? If you enjoy the journey of uncovering truths buried through time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Together, we will continue exploring unsolved mysteries, where each new discovery could change everything we thought we knew. For now, goodbye, and see you next time.